In the dawn of humanity lived brothers, Cain and Abel's sons of the first man and woman. Cain, the elder, was a man of the earth, a tiller of the soil. Day after day, you could see him with his simple wooden plow, his hands calloused from turning the earth, cultivating fields of barley and wheat under the vast, open sky. He watched his crops grow, from tender green shoots to golden stalks swaying in the breeze. His life was tied to the rhythm of planting and harvesting, a cycle of sweat and sustenance. His younger brother, Abel, was a shepherd. His world was not of silent, rooted plants, but of living, breathing creatures. He led his flock of sheep and goats with a gentle hand, guiding them to lush green pastures and cool, clear streams. You'd see him watching over them, a vigilant guardian, protecting the young lambs from predators that lurked in the shadows. He knew each animal, their calls, and their needs. His life was a dance of movement and care, a constant watchfulness over the flock entrusted to him. The two brothers, though different in their pursuits, lived side by side, their lives a testament to the two fundamental ways humanity would learn to survive: farming and herding. One day, the time came for the brothers to present an offering to God, a gesture of gratitude for their livelihoods. Abel went to his flock. He didn't just grab any animal. He carefully selected the very best, the firstborn lamb, perfect and without blemish. He presented it with a heart full of sincerity, offering the most precious thing he had, a symbol of life itself. Cain, in turn, went to his fields. He gathered some of the fruits of his harvest grains and produce he had worked so hard to grow. He brought his offering, a portion of the earth's bounty. Then, a profound and mysterious event unfolded, a sign of divine favor. Perhaps a fire from heaven consumed Abel's offering, showing it was accepted, but for Cain's offering of fruits and grains, there was no such sign. The smoke simply drifted away, his gift seemingly ignored. A shadow fell over Cain's heart. He watched his brother, whose offering was so clearly blessed, and a knot of bitterness began to twist inside him. Why Abel and not him? Hadn't he worked just as hard? The question echoed in his mind, turning into a dark and consuming jealousy. God saw the anger in Cain's face and warned him, telling him that sin was crouching at his door, waiting to devour him, but that he must master it. Yet, the warning fell on deaf ears, drowned out by the rising tide of resentment. The seed of jealousy, once planted, grew into a monstrous tree of rage. Cain's face was downcast, his spirit poisoned. He could no longer look at his brother without feeling the sting of rejection and the burn of envy. He masked his dark intentions with a friendly invitation. "Let's go out to the field," to Abel, his voice hiding the storm within. Abel, unsuspecting and innocent, agreed. He trusted his older brother. They walked together out into the very fields where Cain had poured his sweat and toil, the land that had yielded the rejected offering. Surrounded by the silent stalks of wheat, with the open sky as the only witness, Cain's rage finally erupted. The simmering jealousy boiled over into an act of irreversible violence. There, in the field that was supposed to represent life and sustenance, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and murdered him. The first human life taken by another, the first blood to stain the new earth. The silence that followed was heavier and more profound than any before it. In the chilling aftermath, God's voice echoed through the now empty field, a question that pierced the silence. "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain, standing amidst the evidence of his unforgivable act, his hands perhaps still bearing the tragic proof, answered with a cold, defiant lie. "I don't know," he shot back, his voice stripping with a newfound hardness. And then he uttered the infamous, haunting question that would echo through the ages. "Am I my brother's keeper?" It was a desperate attempt to deflect, to deny his responsibility, to sever the most sacred bond of family. But there was no hiding from the truth. The very ground cried out. God responded, "What have you done?" "The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." The earth itself bore witness to the crime, and Cain stood alone, exposed in his guilt. The consequence for Cain's act was swift and severe. God laid a curse upon him, a punishment that perfectly fit the crime. "Now you are under a curse and driven from the ground, which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. The very soil he had once lovingly cultivated, the source of his pride and his jealousy, would no longer yield its crops for him. The earth that had nourished him would now reject him. His connection to the land, his identity as a farmer, was severed forever. But the curse didn't end there. Cain was condemned to become a fugitive and a restless wanderer on the earth. He would have no home, no place to put down roots, no community to call his own. He was sentenced to a life of exile, forever haunted by what he had done, carrying the weight of his sin with him wherever he went. The stability he once knew was replaced by perpetual uncertainty and isolation. The story of Cain and Abel is more than just an ancient tale. It's a profound cautionary lesson that resonates to this day. It warns us of the destructive power of jealousy and unchecked anger, showing how these corrosive emotions can lead us to betray our most fundamental connections and commit terrible acts. Cain's question, "Am I my brother's keeper?" was born of defiance. But history has transformed it into a moral imperative. It has become a timeless, probing call to all of us. It asks us to look at our neighbors, our friends, our family, and even strangers, and recognize our shared humanity. It challenges us to accept our collective responsibility for one another's well-being. Are we our brother's keeper? The story's legacy insists that the answer must be yes. We are all connected, and our actions, or inactions, have a profound impact on the lives of others. It's a call to choose compassion over envy and responsibility over indifference. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that delves into the timeless lessons of history and faith. The Royals Outreach Ministries International would like to say God bless you and see you next time.